Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are unpacking a truly fascinating philosophical essay by the writer Zhu Feng. It draws this profound, totally unexpected connection between the shifting seasons of nature and our very own human vitality. I mean, think about it for a second. We check the weather app on our phones every single day to see what the temperature is outside, right? But how often do we actually stop to check the temperature inside our own minds? It's a beautifully simple concept, and honestly, it might just completely change how you view your daily mental state and your creative energy. So let's explore the seasons of the mind. All right, part one, A Tale of Two Seasons, Nature's Mirror. The author builds this entire philosophical framework on a really simple observation, looking at two photographs of the exact same location right outside his window. Now, in winter, because of those plummeting temperatures, the landscape is incredibly bleak. The earth is utterly silent, it's desolate, it's sluggish, it is barely just surviving. But then early summer arrives. The climate warms up, and suddenly everything changes. The landscape absolutely bursts with vitality, presenting this vibrant living scene. And the crazy thing is, it's the exact same piece of earth, the exact same dirt, the exact same sky, but the temperature fundamentally dictates its reality. Which brings us to a pretty mind-bending question. What if human minds have seasons too? Xu Feng takes this physical phenomenon, the undeniable fact that temperature dictates life out in nature, and applies it directly to our internal psychological landscape. Moving right along to part two, defining soul temperature, the internal climate. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the author introduces a highly unique concept. He calls it the temperature of the soul. It's defined as the spiritual state that measures the strength of a person's mental state, their thinking ability, and their creative capacity. So we aren't just talking about a fleeting mood here. We're not just saying, oh, you feel a little sad or happy on a random Tuesday afternoon. No, this temperature is a fundamental metric of your mental strength. It is the literal climate in which your thoughts and your potential grow. Just like seeds literally cannot sprout in frozen soil, human creativity and mental resilience just cannot flourish in a cold internal climate. So, a high-temperature soul operates a whole lot like that summer nature we just talked about. These minds are beautifully flexible. They're highly enthusiastic, deeply passionate, and intensely creative. They are blooming, constantly producing new ideas, and really engaging with the world. But then, on the flip side, a low-temperature soul operates exactly like winter. The mind becomes profoundly sluggish. Thinking turns super rigid, kind of stuck in the ice, and completely devoid of creativity. It's a pretty powerful realization when you think about it. Our internal climate directly dictates our mental flexibility and our overall output. Okay, part three, the anatomy of vitality, ingredients of the soul. According to the essay, the temperature of your soul is actually determined by three primary ingredients. First up, rich affection. Second, abundant love, which crucially explicitly involves a deep, active practice of gratitude. Think of gratitude as like a psychological furnace. By actively appreciating what you have, you naturally generate warmth and seriously reduce the friction of anxiety. And third, unsuppressed nature. The author connects this to allowing our fundamental biological drives, including our sexuality and raw human nature, to exist openly and without shame. Because, let's face it, suppressing those natural drives requires an immense amount of psychological energy, and that just cools the soul right down. When these three elements are active, they act as high-octane fuel, naturally and effortlessly driving the temperature of your soul straight up. But of course, the exact inverse is also completely true. If a person is effectively discouraged, feeling desperate, dejected, or self-abandoned, or if they lack gratitude, harbor active resentment toward their surroundings, or heavily suppress their fundamental nature, well, the temperature simply plummets. When you hold on to resentment, you're effectively suffocating your own inner fire. It's literally like a massive cold front moving in. The mind just freezes over, and the soul becomes utterly stagnant, totally incapable of generating new life or new ideas. I actually want to pause here for a second and just speak directly to you, because the author issues a very real, very stark warning about this frozen state. He says, if the temperature of our souls is too low, our lives will fall into poverty and hopelessness. Our lives will be icy without energy and vitality. Wow, it is a profound realization to just sit with for a moment. Remaining in that winter state isn't just some minor discomfort. According to the source material, it literally threatens to strip the energy, the hope, and the potential right out of our lives. It's a state of mere survival, entirely disconnected from actually thriving. Which leads us to part four, seeking warmer climates, thawing the soul. The essay pivots beautifully right here, moving from diagnosing the problem to offering a really actionable solution.
So, the crucial point is we have two primary steps mapped out to thaw the soul. Step 1, consciously raise your inner temperature. Step 2, seek out warmer outside temperatures. The deeply empowering takeaway here is that warming your soul isn't just some passive event that happens to you when the calendar turns. Nope, it requires both an internal choice on your part and a deliberate, active external pursuit. Let's look a little closer at that first step. The author urges us to actively make life colorful, energetic, and full of infinite hope, just like a vibrant summer sky. You have to consciously choose hope over despair. You actually have to intentionally curate your internal landscape to let that summer vitality take root, purposefully practicing gratitude and affection every single day. It basically means waking up and actively deciding to stoke the furnace of your own mind, completely regardless of the frost outside.
And that builds perfectly into the second step, which honestly is arguably just as critical. Because in addition to generating your own internal heat, you need to borrow some from your environment. You have to consciously immerse yourself in crowds of people who are enthusiastic, passionate, loving, joyful, and free. By actively surrounding yourself with vibrant communities, you literally absorb their outside temperature. Psychological states are highly transferable, guys. Their warmth is literally contagious. Sharing space with passionate people helps your own life too, as the author beautifully puts it, bloom with brilliant shine. It's just an incredibly powerful framework for evaluating our lives, isn't it? We aren't just helpless victims of our circumstances, we are the active curators of our internal and external climates. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final provocative question to carry with you. What is the temperature of the room you are sitting in right now, and who is warming it? Take a moment to evaluate your inner climate, really examine the people you choose to surround yourself with, and keep actively pursuing the summer of your soul. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today. I'll see you next time.